All right, hi, my name is Sarah. I'm in entrepreneurship class. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you. So, first off, how's your day been?
It's been pretty good.
Good.
Can't complain.
Class today?
I had a couple classes earlier in the morning, but I just got back from a career fair, so that went rather well.
That's good. And so, what's your name? So
My
let's
name
talk
is
about
Barry Fleming,
it. And what's your major?
Agricultural Operations and Management.
Okay, and what do you plan to do with that one day?
I would like to be a production manager of some type of crop and eventually move to the marketing side of things and sell pesticides or seeds or anything along those lines.
And when are you supposed to graduate?
I will be graduating this December, which is December of 2017.
Do you have any interest of getting like a further education or?
I was thinking about possibly getting my master's.
Gotcha. And so, did you get into UF as a freshman or did you transfer in?
I transferred after I got my AA from Polk State College in Lakeland, around Lakeland, Florida.
So, was it a big difference coming from like the community college to UF?
A very big difference. The atmosphere in general is just totally different, and there's a lot of different people, and it's a lot funner up here too.
So, what do you think your hardest class was like in community college that you took?
I would say college algebra.
Did you ever like get any help for that class, or were you able to like get through it on your own?
I was able to get some tutoring from the professor every once in a while, but other than that, I've only ever used tutoring from Study Edge up here.
Okay, gotcha. So, did you ever like were there TAs at community college?
Only in the writing classes. That's the only classes I can think of that would have TAs.
And so, in community college, like your class sizes were probably what, like 20, 30 kids? What would you say?
Say 20 or 30.
And then, so when you came up here, how big are your classes now? Do you think?
My microeconomics class had anywhere from 150 to 200 people. It was the biggest class I think I've ever been in.
And was it online?
It was. But you could go in and go into class as well with Dr. Knight.
And so, what do you think the hardest class you've taken at UF has been so far?
I would say Precision Ag with Dr. Lee. It's very technical, and sometimes it can be difficult to understand his accent.
So, do you think you're the only person like struggling in that class, or do a lot of people like struggle?
Definitely not the only person struggling. Everyone I talked to has had issues with the class.
Gotcha. And so, how are you in that class right now, or is that like a previous semester?
I'm in it right now.
So, is that what you looked into Study Edge for?
Yeah, I've kind of dealt with Study Edge a few times, especially with my microeconomics class, but this class, not too much.
Do they not offer it for that course, or?
They do not.
Oh, okay. So, where do you think you'd have to look to get help for that?
I would probably go to some of my peers or the professor. Not everybody has to take a precision ag class, so it's kind of difficult to find help sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so how did like Study Edge work when you used it for micro? Like, did you go to it every week, or did you like?
I just went to it one time. I went there, got the package deal, and got the smoking notes that came free with it. And then I went to the 3-hour lecture a few nights before the exam, and it really helped.
So, do smoking notes have like practice problems, or like what's in like the packet that you get?
There's a lot of great explanations, good examples, a lot of great definitions, and there's other practice problems that go along with it that really helped.
So, do you feel like that helped you like score better on your exam?
Oh, definitely. Without that, I probably would not have passed.
And how much do you think you'd be willing to pay like for tutoring per hour? Like, what do you think is like a fair price?
Say anywhere from $25 to $40, depending on the tutor and how good they are.
Or like the class? Like, do you think it could depend on the class?
It definitely depends on the class. If it's an easier class, not so much. I wouldn't pay too high of a price, but a really hard class that I have to pass, I would definitely pay more.
And do you prefer to like be tutored like in person at the library? Or would you rather like sit at home and like do it over like Skype or like FaceTime or something like that?
I would definitely rather be in person. I'm more of a hands-on type of learner, so being on a computer and dealing with distance, I don't think I could get my
You feel like you get
questions across
distracted?
as well.
You feel like you get distracted?
Yeah, definitely distracted.
So do you prefer to like do your homework online, or like when you like take notes, do you like take it by hand, or do you like type it on the computer, or like both, or
I take my notes all by hand, and actually have to rewrite them a few times for it to really sink in.
like to understand? And do you think it would be helpful to like be able to like record
Oh yeah,
and like go back and like watch it?
definitely.
And then what qualities do you like look for? Like if you were like the ideal perfect tutor?
They have to talk English, like they have to speak like
Yeah,
and understand
clear,
them definitely. But one that's not going to get aggravated if I don't get it right away, because sometimes it can take a while for me to understand something. And so as long as I can understand them and they're kind of easygoing and
Qualified.
easy to work with, yeah, qualified especially. As long as they have those qualities, I don't mind who it is.
And then with Study Edge, was it like, do they have like one-on-one options, or did you have to kind of go in like the group setting?
I got the group study session, but I believe they do have the one-on-one. But the group study session was definitely good, just because you get to see different perspectives from different people, and sometimes different perspectives help me learn, because if the tutor can't get his point across to me, if somebody else can, it's definitely helpful.
So you prefer like working in groups?
Yeah,
That's definitely worth it. So would you have a preference of like male, female tutor? Doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
And have you ever gone and seen TAs for like any of your classes?
I have only one time, actually. That's when I had an issue with my computer and submitting an assignment. I could have turned it in earlier and probably should have, but my computer froze, and then that's the only time I've really had to talk to a TA.
So you didn't like actually go for like help on a problem? It's more like
No,
difficulty.
not really.
Like, so did you have to take like accounting classes for your major?
I've taken some finance classes, but I've kind of just taken them just because I know I'll need to learn them rather than them being part of my major, and I found them very helpful.
Do you know any like on-campus like tutoring services? Have you ever heard anything like that, or?
I'm sure we have some, but I haven't really brushed up on where it is or who to contact about it.
What about like when you were in community college, like at what was it, Polk?
Oh, Polk State.
Was there like were there like different like labs or like things you could go to for help there?
Yeah, there was a place called the TLCC, and it was just under the library, and that was a pretty good place to go to if I ever needed help.
Was that something you paid extra for, or was it kind of like included in your?
It was all free. If you wanted a one-on-one conversation with a tutor, you needed to get a kind of, I guess, you needed to call ahead for a reservation.
Okay, I'd make an appointment. Okay, and were they like professors, or were they like students who have done well in the class, or?
Some were professors, but there were a lot of students that helped.
Have you ever heard of Tutoring Zone?
I have, but I've never used them.
Yeah, I know that since your major, like a couple people I've talked to, they said they don't really offer it for like, they'll offer it for like the general classes like business finance, but not necessarily like, what was it, you guys have to take like an ag finance or something?
Yeah, ag finance.
So it's hard to find like someone who fits in there.
Yeah, it's hard to find any help for ag classes because it's not the popular classes that everybody takes, and not everybody goes for agricultural especially agricultural operations manager. Not everybody goes for it, so it's not in high demand for tutors.
So how did you like meet the people you study with? Like were they just like talking through class, or?
Yeah, talking through class, and a lot of them in my fraternity, they've been really helpful. They're in the classes that I'm in, or they've taken the classes that I've taken. They've helped me with using old exams to help brush up on studying. I get to use their old books, look at their notes, and it's been very helpful.
So the classes really haven't changed that much over the years necessarily?
Depending on the class, no, definitely not.
Gotcha. So do you think like an application process would help? Like if you're going to look for a tutor, like you could like fill out like this is what I look for, like I prefer this, like I can only meet at these times. Like do you think that'd be something that'd be?
Yeah, that'd make it a lot easier. Instead of sifting through all the riffraff, you get straight to the point. And
right, instead of trying to like going through a different
yeah
tutors, try to figure out what works.
It'd be a lot easier.
All right, well I really appreciate your time. It has been very helpful, and it'll definitely help me with my business plan in the future. So thank you.
No problem. Good luck.